Hello, BookTube. I had a crappy weekend, so I decided to once again rearrange my library. This time, I switched the placement of my history collection and my science fiction and fantasy collection. So, to give you an overview of the sort of placement of the bookcases in this room, my library. I have in front of me three bookcases. One that is open-ended, so I can use both sides as two bookcases. A longish, mid-sized bookcase with another bookcase on top of it, one that my grandfather built. Behind me over here, over my shoulder, I have two open-ended shelving units that are quite flimsy that I use as four bookcases. And then over here are two bookcases. One that I got from my brother a few years ago, and one that I got from my mom, which I exchanged a smaller bookcase for. And then over here is the lonely sibling to this bookcase here that my grandfather also built. So when I initially conceptualized this space, I wanted my history collection over my shoulder because of all of the sections, the bookcase sections in this library, this one here has the ability to hold the most books. Unfortunately, outside of my manga collection, my history collection is the largest part of my library right now. And so even with these bookcases over here being able to hold the most, there was still a significant bleed over to the point where I had to use the tops of these shelves to finish off holding my history. The problem is those bookcases are quite flimsy and have a tendency to tip over if I pull a book off the shelf. And it is in front of a window, so there's a possibility that there could be a catastrophic failure and a whole line of books could just fall off and into the window and break the window, and then I would get in trouble. So instead of keeping my history collection there, I moved my history collection to the bookcases in front of me. And then the bleed over to the bookcases over here, which is now currently just the one that my grandfather built. And it didn't please me either because it's too far. I want all of my history together. I want the parts of my library to be together. I don't want like a deep separation, which was what I was facing the first time I rearranged this library a few weeks ago. I had my classics, modern and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama in two sections. I had spun off poetry to the little bookcase over here. And so this would have been fiction and drama, and that I didn't like it. So part of the rearrangement last time was to merge poetry back with fiction and drama. And with the science fiction and fantasy in front of me, history behind me, I got what I have of non-history, non-fiction over in the little bookcase. But I didn't like how that looked because, again, the bleed over of history over here led to many of the books still being on top. And it just looked crowded. It looked ugly. I really did not like it. So I decided to move history back over here and science fiction and fantasy back over here. And Unfortunately, there's still that bleed over, and so I had to take the what not history nonfiction was over here over elsewhere. And so the history bleed over is still over there, and I'm not happy with it. I know what I want. I want my history collection over here, but in different bookcases. In my mind's eye, what I want is a public library or school library style shelving unit that would be about my size, if not maybe slightly taller, 5 to 6 shelves, that's several feet long, that would comfortably hold all of my history collection, and perhaps a little bit more for growth. Although once history hits that sort of stopping point, then start to periodically purge my history collection, which I'm already having to do since I don't really have much more space for history. Actually, I don't have any more space for history. So that's what I want. The problem is how would I go about getting those kinds of bookcases? I know periodically libraries will renovate or remodel and will switch out their furniture for new furniture and then sell what they're getting rid of. But that's probably very rare. So I don't know exactly what to do to go about getting the bookcases I want for over here. Or for that matter, what to do with the shelving units that I already have. Because there's not enough space to keep them here. Anyway, that's that. But one other thing I noticed as I was putting the books back on the shelves was that I'm thinking a major purge of science fiction and fantasy is coming in the new year. I can easily see myself getting rid of most of those books and not really caring, not really missing them. And that was reinforced on Sunday as I tried to dip into 2 Hartwell anthologies, which I will talk about, perhaps rant about, either with weekly reads or sort of a ranty weekend wrap up or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm still not satisfied. Um, Hopefully, I'll figure it out. Hopefully, I can get the space to what I want with not a whole lot of money. Anyway, BookTube, I will be right back because I do have to talk about nonfiction November. So until then, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.